I do think there is some desensitizing there, but I think that maybe to protect yourself a little bit.
Sure.
And kind of put up that wall so it's not getting to you, or else you can't
do your job.
Right.
What are
you
you
can't
gonna,
move
you can't
on.
You can't fall apart every day.
Right.
Oof. That's on a saint-like level for me, man.
Thank you.
And look, sure, you're making money, but you're not like profiting.
That's why we call it a nonprofit.
Right. So you're not, you know what I mean? Like you're in there to do the work, to do God's work, so,
Yes.
appreciate that 100%.
Hey, I'm Armando Leduc, producer, film actor, and owner of Leduc Entertainment. I have chosen a life off the beaten path and wanted to find others that are doing the same. Spaghetti on the Wall is a show based on all of the years that I've thrown spaghetti on the wall and nurtured what stuck. We will share fun stories, ideas, tips, tricks, and more. Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall.
What up? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you're consuming this podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mark Firmin in the house. What's up, dude?
Not much. How you doing, Armando?
I'm good, man. So Mark runs a nonprofit called Angel's Place.
Yes.
And if you guys are not familiar with Angel's Place, Mark, tell us a little bit about what Angel's Place does. And if you want to come all the way up on the mic and stay right there, if you want to hug it right here.
Okay, there we go. Is that good?
Perfect.
Okay, so Angel's Place is a nonprofit 501c3 that we're based in Metairie, and we help any child that's been diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, cancer, a brain tumor, heart defect, anything that's considered life-threatening. We step in and provide a lot of ongoing non-medical support services to that child and that family. And we have children all over Louisiana and southern Mississippi through Children's and Ochsner Hospital. So we are celebrating our 25th anniversary starting this month.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I gotta, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for almost 8 years.
What's different about when you first started to now being in it 8 years?
I'm invested. At first it was this new, I was a teacher for 20 something years. And here I am running a nonprofit that I thought like, oh yeah, I can do this. And it was a challenge, but, now I feel a little bit more of a expert. And as far as I'm more involved with the kids, if anything happens, I take it to heart. I don't have my own kids. These are my kids. So it's more emotional now than ever when I lose a kid. And sometimes we do have kids that pass away. I take it hard. I find myself emotionally different. I take things more to heart.
How do you find sort of a balance with like letting that stuff go, where it doesn't just like destroy you completely?
I'll say, I think support from friends, family, the community. I'll never forget the first time I had a kid that passed away. Carson was his name. He was in Ponchatoula, and when he passed away, I would see him in the hospital. We do respite care, where trained volunteers go into the hospital and check in on the clients, and if they can sit with the child for a while, they can do that. And I was doing that in the very beginning. I don't do that anymore now, just because we thought it was more important for me to be out in the community getting word out about what we do and what we offer. But there was Carson, and I remember he was a big fan of Pikachu with Pokemon, and I would go in and play with him, and then he just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and he did pass away. He was, 7, 8 years old. And I'll never forget, we got word of the funeral arrangements, and I went to my 2 staff members, like, can anybody go? And they're like, no. I was like, you really need to go. I was like, okay. So from Metairie to Ponchatoula on a Friday night just was not fun. And I get there finally found the funeral home. And any funeral for a child is just difficult, because when I had a student when I taught, I would have a student that would pass away. That was hard. This was even harder because it's a young child. And I just remember, like just kind of keep it in perspective. I mean, emotionally, mentally, it's hard. And I just remember going to the mom and just saying, look, we're here. I'm sorry about everything. Just letting her know we were there, letting her know I was there and that we would still be there for them for a while. And I just remember the ride home. It was late. I mean, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, going across the causeway, pitch black. I remember people were calling me up just saying, are you okay? You know, because it was really kind of the first funeral I'd gone to. And that support, people checking in, people seeing how you're doing, that helps. Venting a little bit with friends or something like that helps out a lot too. I'm a very big one-on-one person, you know, when I have a friend or something like that, if I can go to them and just say, look, this is what's going on. And they're just like, look, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. Oh, therapy, everything. I've done it all. But I think knowing that support's there and that people believe in me to pull this off for these families is probably going back and reminding myself of that helps. And I think that's been the biggest support to get me through things.
How did you get involved in this, man?
When I was teaching I taught at Archbishop Rummel for 22 years. I ran a service organization called Operation Head Start. It was a alternative key club, and it was I got the students involved in different groups. We were working with Head Start schools first off. And at-risk kids, reading books to them, dressing up as characters to them, bringing Santa to them. It was fun. It was a blast. And it kind of grew and really grew big. And we had gotten a WDSU did a Making the Difference Award or something like that. I remember it was Norman Robinson. And he came and gave it to our program. And then the next week when I followed him on when the news would come out, the next award went to Anita Guilford, who was the founder of Angel's Place. And I saw what she did and everything, and I met with her, and I said, look, what can we do? And so I kind of got involved with them early on. I was on the board for a while. They had a board of directors. I was on the board. We would have their Christmas party on Rummel's campus, and we would invite the kids out to see Santa and give them their gifts because we do Christmas for all these families. We still do that. And I guess I just got involved. And then when I was kind of looking for a change to maybe go into school administration or anything like that, they were looking for a change too because she was getting ready to retire. They came to me and said, would you be interested in taking over? And here I am.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So
yeah.
Did she lose a child? Is that why she started this?
She had, her son was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And when he was going through that, she prayed and said, God, if you get me through this, I will start helping other families with this situation and support them. And he's doing fine now, living in Houston with 3 kids.
Wow. And
doing great. And right after he went into remission, she started Angel's Place. So it was in the late 90s. She lived in Kenner. She started from her house, and then it kind of grew. And then maybe in the 2000s, it started going down a little bit. And that's when they brought me in to kind of take over and kind of revitalize it. And I think I've done that. So, here we are.
Dude, you're doing an amazing job, man.
Thank you.
Hats off to you. I wanted to, number one, thank you for what you're doing.
Appreciate that.
On a, I was doing I just went to Minnesota to shoot a video for a family who lost their father in an accident in New Orleans. And so the video is for, in order to put some pressure on AAA to settle, for an amount. But, seeing them just, falling apart, and like, I have a kid, and not, imagining what that's like, getting a diagnosis and, just your entire world
it turns the dynamic of that family, especially if it's a child. I mean, like, when I usually talk about this, I'll talk about, somebody that was diagnosed with cancer or anything. I mean, I was diagnosed in January with colon cancer. I'm doing okay with that right now, so we can talk about that later. But it gives me another connection to my kids because I never expected, that to happen. But so far, so good with that. But anyway, we all know somebody that's been diagnosed with cancer, usually an adult. And that's hard on whatever the immediate family or the extended family, whatever. But if it's a child, as a parent, it's going through their heads. Why is my child going to die? Is this going to be financially hard on my family? Is the siblings if their siblings involved or in the family, they feel slighted and they don't mean to. But here's this family of 3. If this child's getting all the attention and these other 2 kids, they can't make it to soccer practice or get taken to a friend's house for a play date or something like that, they don't mean to feel that way, but they do. If it's a single parent, you got one child in the hospital that needs 24/7 being watched over, and you still got 2 kids at home. Unless you have family support, and we do some of that, it's not easy. So I can only imagine. I went through it myself just with a small scare with cancer, but it comes back to me. I'm being checked out. I'm being monitored and everything. I never thought every time I have a blood test, every time I have another test, there's a scare that cancer could come back. I can imagine what these kids feel like, and we do hear about that. So it's not a good situation. So we just try to. We don't do anything, not a lot medical.
Right.
We do anything we can do to support, to try to preserve. I don't want to keep that family together because that's our main value is family. And we try to address not only the kids, but we have a support group for our parents, a Zoom support group. We were meeting the first Thursday of every month. We took a break for summer. We're going to come back in January. That just gave the parents a chance to vent and do that. So it's not easy when it's a child.
How are they explaining this to the kids? Are the kids understanding it? Do they get it?
I think they get something. I guess the best way I can think about doing it, I remember when I went to, it was Christian Brothers for a presentation to, I think it was a kindergarten class. And I was going to start talking we're a nonprofit that helps children with life-threatening diseases such as cancer, brain tumor. And the questions started coming as, what's cancer? I was like, I got to So I had to rethink the way I presented to young kids. And I was like, look, we help children that are sick. And we try to help support the family as best as we can. And I had to I don't want to say, just bring it down to their level. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to say that. I want to bring it down to their level. I don't know how parents talk to. I think the kids kind of pick up on it. They're not completely clueless.
Sure,
they do pick up on things. They know what they're going through. They know what, but I do think that being kids, there's that innocence there and that purity of just. I'm trying to see how I can say this. I think they just want to be a kid.
Right.
And they're just looking for that, how to enjoy things. And that's what we try to give them when we do the Halloween party or we do the Christmas party. We just finished a spring fling and a summer carnival for these kids. We want to give them a chance to be a kid and not worry about these things, not worry about the next shot, not worry about the next round of chemo, not worry about the next hospital visit. Or because I think they realize when they do go to a doctor's office or the hospital, or they know something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I think they put that together. I'm not sure if I've never asked that question to. I'm gonna have to ask that question to a family. A parent. So how do you tell your kids about this? And you just try. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they just. That's a good question.
So you guys are helping with everything that's not medical,
right?
So kind of run me through some of the things that you got. Is this kind of like Make-A-Wish a little bit?
Not exactly. Make-A-Wish is a one-time thing, which is I'm not a big fan of, but it's a one-time thing, and they grant a wish for a child, and they do a wonderful job with that. We are ongoing as much as we can. Now, if there's something that I can do for a child that is a wish, I will try my best within my powers to do that. We had a kid that was out in Garyville, Bryce. He had this syndrome where brain tumors just grow in his head, and he has seizures, and it's just it medically has put him in a wheelchair, and he depends on his 80-something-year-old dad to take care of him. They live in a trailer in Garyville, which is past Laplace, and they kind of depend on us for certain things. But I heard that he listened to B97 all the time, the radio station. Mm-hmm. And that he loved, back then it was the afternoon swirl and the DJs and everything. So I made arrangements to get him to B97, the studios, and they took him in, explained the situation to him. They took him in, they had him on the air. So, and it was probably, we took out a limo there.
Oh, wow.
Everything was really, really kind of cool. And that was in my first year. And so if we can do something that within our powers, if there's I'll call it a special request, we'll try our best to do it. We do respite care where the volunteers will go into the hospital and check in with the families. We don't give money. We do gift cards. Okay. If we do gift cards, if a family gets into the hospital and they forgot that extra set of pajamas or they need food, there's Raising Cane's near both hospitals. We work out of Oshner and Children's. So we do a lot of gift cards to Raising Cane's. We do a lot of Walmart and Target gift cards because they can run over there, get what they need, and take care of that issue. And we do gas gift cards because we do have a lot of people. We've been seeing a lot of families from Shreveport. So they're coming back and forth, and we can't provide all the gas, but we can do the only gas gift card is like Racetrack or Shell, and we can give them one of those to help. We do Christmas for all these kids. We are Christmas morning for these families. We get their wish list. We get their we adopt out the families. We try our best to get them what they want. Plus, a lot of people do toy drives, and we put that all in there too. So there's a good Christmas for them. We provide Christmas. We distribute the gifts out. We have Santa there waving so they can see Santa and take a picture if they come out with kids, or the family can take a picture with Santa. We do a lot of family parties. We do Halloween. We did something for Easter. We just did a summer carnival in June. Popcorn, cotton candy, carnival games, face painting, crafts, everything. It was just a time for the family to come out with the kids, let the kids be kids, and let the families have a few hours of worry-free time.
Nice.
So we do some Thanksgiving dinners for some families. That's really anything else we can think of that we can help the families with. We do the support group for the parents. We were trying to see how we can address siblings, how we can address moms and dads, because it's different. They feel differently. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to address those needs. It's been a challenge to try to, we deal with the moms pretty well. I used to do Mother's Day things. We were trying to do something for Father's Day, but you got to find a sponsor. And that's my job's just going out there and getting the support and the financial backing to pull some of these programs off. But that's about anything else we can think of to be there in support of the family. If our respite care workers can give the family a break, if sit with the Oshner Hospital requires children under the age of 13 to be supervised 24/7. So if we can go there and help during the day to give the parent or the caregiver a chance to go home and just clean the house or take a shower or take a nap, run some errands, anything like that, that's gold. That's gold, because life continues, and sometimes it's hard for them to stop to take care of those other things. So anything else we can think of that we can do. Like I said, we're not Make-A-Wish, but we do try to handle special requests the best way we can.
I guess when your focus is the bigger picture, does it feel like there's a little bit of a separation, I guess, from it? I mean, I always wonder about, caretakers, people that are like in hospice, doctors that are dealing with kids, when they see this all the time, do they get desensitized to this? Does it,
I think to a certain extent, yes. I'll probably say for a while there, I've felt desensitized. That's why I think I had to pull myself out the hospital, because it was just, I kind of felt it was just, I was going through motions. I was going through a routine and not being there. But, there were times when the parents would just talk to me for 2 hours because they were just talking to another adult for a while rather than just being with their child the whole time. Yeah, I do think there is some desensitizing there, but I think that maybe to protect yourself a little bit.
Sure.
And kind of put up that wall so it's not getting to you, or else you can't
do your job.
Right.
What are you
can't move on.
You can't fall apart every day.
Right.
Oof. Look, man, that's on a saint-like level for me, man.
Thank you.
It's, somebody that goes in, and look, sure, you're making money, but you're not like profiting.
That's why we call it a nonprofit.
Right. So you're not, you know what I mean? Like you're in there to do the work, to do God's work, so,
Yes.
Appreciate that 100%. Talk to me about, what, like if somebody wanted to get involved as a volunteer, how, I know obviously financially you can get involved and give to the nonprofit, but how can people get involved?
They can go to our website, www.angelsplacenola.org. There is a volunteer form to fill out. Basically, we would need, we're always looking for respite care volunteers, but they have to go through serious training with the hospital they're going to work at and the our children's program director. So it's a little bit of a commitment, maybe committing to one day to go to the hospital and see which of our clients are there, and just check in with them to see if they need anything, sit with them, read to a child, anything like that. We also take volunteers at certain times with certain events. We do a big gala in September. We have our parties that we are always looking for volunteers to help with. Christmas is a big time. If they want to adopt a family, we can get them a wish list of items and they can go out and shop for them and bring them back to us. And that way I don't have to be shopping all those hours in December. I can try to have a Christmas myself. It just depends on the time of year. Right now we're doing school supplies. Family of 3, one in the hospital. Things are costly. Then you got to think of school supplies for all these kids. So we are rounding up school supplies, which is probably the easiest part of my job, because school supplies can get things are going on sale right now, and things are pretty cheap for people to give a lot. We do have a list of what we need, and we gather those up. So we do, once we're going to start getting the bags, put them together probably toward the end of July, and we are going to distribute them. So we could probably use some volunteers there. After that, we have our Halloween party coming up in October. We have a nice relationship with Magnolia Community Services that they help special needs adults. And they let us use a room there called the NIM Center, and they get a couple of their higher functioning clients to come out and help us. But we're always in need of people to give out candy to our kids. I mean, this gives our kids a safe place to trick or treat. And maybe they can't go out Halloween night or anything like that. They can come here, and it's usually usually we get pretty good weather. It's been the one time we get the best weather. And they can come out and give out candy to the kids. So it just depends on the time of the day. So they can either go through our website or call us and just see what needs to be done at the time. Mm-hmm. And, we do get a lot of high school requests for service hours. We get a lot of... I just think people don't realize that they want to work with kids. That's what they tell us. I want to volunteer and work with kids. Well, not all the time it is that, because you have to be trained to work with those kids in the hospital just because of the hospital liability and stuff like that. But we don't have a facility. We don't have a place where our kids come and see us for long lengths of time that people can interact with them. We interact with them through the hospital and just through our special family events and distributions and things like that.
What's the goal for the organization here in the next 5 years to expand?
Oh, I'm going through funny you asked that, because I'm going through a kind of a strategic plan right now, and I'm working with a wonderful volunteer that's helping me put that together. And that was one of the questions I had to answer. I think I would like to help other families that may have a child with other diseases that are debilitating, but maybe not considered life-threatening. Spina bifida, cystic fibrosis, sickle cell. I find that it's hard for them, although our mission statement says that we're going to help children with life-threatening illnesses. I would like to broaden that a little bit. I would like to have a facility that our parents can come in with the kids. We may have somebody to do some daycare there. We'd like to do brick and mortar. I'd like to see more than just us working in an office and in the hospitals. I would like to see a resource center of some sort. I have a board of directors. I'd like to see them get more involved in the strategic planning and stuff like that. I take a lot of this on myself, and they know that. And I do all the fundraising. I do all the heavy lifting, and I've been told that they need to become more of a board of stewardship rather than one of governance. They've been just helping me and advising me the whole time. Now it's time for them to, and we've seen that with some of the big funders. They want to see that. So I think those are three big ones there. I'd like to see us continue to grow. We've kind of sustained the last 5 years so far. Not having to go into our nest egg or our rainy day fund or anything like that. I'd like to see us grow allow us to grow, allow growth, and maybe have more staff members. I have a staff of 3, including me, and we take care of over 80 families right now all over the state. That's hard. We depend on volunteers for that.
Right.
So I'd like to have maybe some staff members come in and increase my staff. I think those are some good ones for the next 5 years.
That's
Hopefully, knock on wood.
And this is you. This is what you're doing. Like, you don't see yourself migrating into something else. I keep saying I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I'd like to be able to, like I said, staff to maybe give somebody a chance to take on something that I don't have to free me up to look into other things, to do more of I'm the grant writer. I would love to have a grant writer. Somebody to take that on. We had one, but then the pandemic kind of wiped that out because we just couldn't afford them. But I'd like to be able to reach out more, to go out to the North Shore, to go out to northern Louisiana and let people know what we do. I know that you guys are here.
Yeah. Even in New Orleans. New Orleans has a lot of old money, and we help 75% of our clients stay at Children's Hospital, and maybe 20% of our clients are in New Orleans. I'd like people to know what we do and how we help them and how they can support us, and get word out. I would like to have like meetings all day. I just want to meet people. I'm a people person.
Sure.
And I would just like to go to chamber events and do things, but it's hard when I'm the only one right now in the office right now. So it's hard, but I'd like to free myself to just go out and do that.
Yeah.
And, so I guess that would be more of see myself in the next 5 or 10 years.
Nice. Well, we're definitely going to help you with getting the word out. So
yeah, that's what we need.
We are definitely going to amplify the message and do what we can to help support such an amazing cause and such an amazing person, man. Thank you
so much.
So tell them where they can find you.
We can be found, we are in Metairie right now at our office, 4323 Division Street, Suite 206 in Metairie. We are right behind the back of Grace King High School. I will say, though, we're
working kind of like a hybrid schedule. And right now I'm by myself, so I'm not there much. My cell phone's 504-508-4589. I have no problem giving that one out. I use that one so much that I'm kind of forgetting my own phone number at the office. But we are also on the our website's www.angelsplacenola, so ANGELSPLACENOLA.org. All of our information's there. Our contact, everything is there. Okay, 504-455-2620. Sorry about that.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, get involved, guys. Angels Place is an amazing organization. I've known Mark now for 4 or 5 years, I guess, since being in BNI, and
Yes.
And he definitely does what he says he's going to do, and is a consistent and just incredible, man. What you
Thank
do
you.
is amazing. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Spaghetti on the Wall, brought to you by Leduc Entertainment for all of your digital marketing needs, videos, social media, podcasting. We got you. And you can watch Spotify, or you can watch Spaghetti on the Wall anywhere where you can get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Just Google us. You'll find us every Friday. Talk to y'all next time.